All right, now recording. All right, so we're going to be talking about POS systems today. And oops, oh, way ahead. There we go, day 3. All right, so we're going to kind of review a little bit of what we kind of talked about yesterday. What is a business plan and what is it used for? Okay, so a business plan is for basically to help you kind of determine what you want to do, and helps investors and helps people kind of understand your kind of whole vision of your restaurant. And what is it used for? I mean, it is used for basically, like I said, to help you map out your restaurant, your any of your ideas. Basically, it's kind of a diary or whatever else of ideas of just kind of, you just have it, and it's there to help you to build your restaurant, for the investors to understand where your vision is. Why is it so important to hire professional people? Because you don't want a bunch of hacks. You don't want a bunch of wannabes or people that don't know how to serve tables or 10 bar. You want the best of the best. No matter what, you want the best of the best when it comes to your facility. I think that's always important. You never want to kind of scrimp or get. You always just want the best of the individuals. Why we focus in on customer experience. Someone tell me why. Why did we do that? Why do we want to focus in on customer experience?
So that they want to come back.
Exactly, right there. Those are the people that pay your salaries, pay your electric bill, pay your gas bill, you name it. The customers are the most important people. If we didn't have the customers, we wouldn't be in business, plain and simple. And I think that, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, actually, I was going to wait until you were done, Chef. But anyways,
sorry.
what I was thinking about is something that I had listened a while back. I don't recall if it was a video I saw on YouTube or a podcast from John Taffer. He had mentioned that customer service, was the way that it was pushing people to come back, like to having them become frequent customers. I believe that he mentioned that with good service, at least you would get at least half of the people to come back for a second visit. After a second visit where the quality had improved, it went up about another 10% or something. No, it was 60% more likely those people were going to come back. And then after a third visit where the service was consistently good and they knew they were getting a good product and everything, the retention rate on customers was roughly around 80%.
Wow. Where did you see this on?
I'd have to find it because it's been a while since I last saw it.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna look that up. I like those. I like that percentage.
I think those were the numbers right at the top of my. Those are the numbers I figured right at the top of my head.
No, that's awesome, man. That's great, and for sure. I mean, that's. I mean, you've got to keep moving and bringing it up, because the more you want those customers, right? I mean, those percentages are great. No, I think that's awesome. I think that's a great additional information. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I think okay. I might have found a video. I'll check it. I'll check it here in a second, see if it's the right one. And if it is, I'll try to send out the link to y'all.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I could try to share that. We can watch that. Thank you. That would be great. What can we do to have a stronger position in the market? I mean, basically, you name it, media, commercials, word of mouth, just doing anything to get your face shown. I mean, a good, I mean, like shirts, swag, koozies, any of that sort of stuff. I mean, if someone has a koozie of your name, of your restaurant, and they get pictures taken and all of that, I mean, it just, that, and it's on Instagram, people see it, people see the shirts, all of that sort of stuff. That's free advertisement, and how you get a stronger position is more word of mouth, more people, more, you name it, getting people to create a buzz in the to just basically create a buzz. Let's see. All right. So we're going to watch this little video with Thomas Keller real quick. Let me make sure I am on my VPN real quick. Hold on a second. Let me just log into it. Sometimes my VPN makes it a little bit better. Let's see. All right, Thomas Keller.
If I don't want to make a video like this of myself, I can just make a really cute one.
Can y'all hear it?
Good morning or good afternoon. This is
Yes.
certainly not my normal habitat. Usually there would be some stoves here and some refrigerators and countertops here, cutting boards and knives, and pretty violent environment with all the fires and the knives and young people running around, on Red Bull these days as opposed to coffee. But here I am standing before you. It's hard to believe that a little more than a generation and a half ago, chefs were considered domestic help by the U.S. Department of Labor. Thanks to a lot of recognition, the advent of food magazines, food channels, and of course through support of people like you, we now have a bona fide, recognized profession. And I'm standing here in front of hundreds of people to talk about a restaurant. It's quite unique when you come to think about it. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here. One of those things that someone asked you 20 years ago, where do you think you'll be now? And I thought, well, I'd have my own restaurant and maybe a really good chef, but standing on a stage at TEDx, I would never think I'd be there. Who knew? But I want to talk to you about what a restaurant's all about, this connectivity, which is this theme that's running through the conference today, and what a restaurant is and how that connectivity relates to who we are and how we achieve what we achieve. I'd like to introduce you to French Laundry in Yountville, California. This is what you see when you come to our restaurant. Why? Because this is about you. This is about you as an individual, your experience at that restaurant. But I see a lot of different things. Most of them are hundreds of individuals that are dedicated and committed to you. Only you. You by yourself. People ask me a lot of times about success. And I thought about it for years, and I realized that success is not about fame. It's certainly not about fortune, recognition, awards. It's about memories. It's about the memories that we collect throughout our lives. And I'm sure each one of you have wonderful memories about things that you've done in your life. And a lot of that was about success, that defined success for me. And certainly one of those memories, or one of the biggest compliments I can receive, is when a guest comes to our restaurant, has dinner, and then comes back to the kitchen, or I meet them in the courtyard, and they say, "Chef, this reminds me of," and they go into this wonderful tale about an experience they had, I don't know, in the south of France, in Paris, in Italy, in Spain, or even in America. A great experience they had in another restaurant. And I can only hope that that individual goes on and has another great experience and says, this reminds me of the French Laundry. Because therein lies the true meaning of success. But what are we? We're in the hospitality industry. I hate to call it industry. I haven't thought of a better word for it, but that's what we do. We think about hospitality as something that comes from inside, something that's innate, something that comes from someplace in the heart, something soulful. You can teach hospitality, but it doesn't have the same kind of impact as it does when it comes from someplace that's meaningful, some compelling reason. I'm a nurturer at heart. I was speaking to one of our fellow presenters last night, and I brought that up. What I do is nurture people. I found out a long time ago what makes me happy is making you happy. One of the most gratifying times of my life. So let's talk about cooking for a moment, because that's what restaurants and chefs are all about, right? And cooking is a very simple equation. It's about ingredients and execution. I don't care if it's the French Laundry, Per Se, Danielle, Café Boulud, Bouchon, Ad Hoc, the diner down the street. It's all defined by the ingredients that they receive and the way they execute. Of course, our ingredients come from a wide source of individuals from all across the country. K&J Orchards in California bringing us stone fruit throughout the summer. Extraordinary couple who dedicated to peach trees, plum trees, persimmons. Of course, Sue Young Scanlon, a young biochemist, dairy scientist, who decided to make cheese. With love of music, he names the cheese after. Ingrid Benjes, a very interesting woman, a Rhodes Scholar, a woman who is a Russian literature expert who lives in Stonington, Maine, and sells lobsters to some of the best chefs in the country. I remember my first experience with Ingrid was here in New York City over 20 years ago when she began selling to a chef of the Bernardin. And of course, her name showed up in an article. I called her. I said, would you sell me lobsters? And she wasn't interested in selling me lobsters or any fish. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know what my standards were. It took me 2 years to get my first halibut from her. And since then, we've been connected. Wonderful lady, meaningful, supports a vast array of fishermen in Maine. Snake River Farms in Idaho, one of the premier cattle ranches in our country, bringing some of the highest quality beef to the tables that we've seen in a long time. Connie Green, wonderful woman who lives in Napa, forages mushrooms not only herself, but has this whole underground network of people who go out in the middle of the night, scouring the forest for all these wild mushrooms that they bring us. A very special woman here, Diane St. Clair, who lives in Orwell, Vermont, and named her farm the Animal Farm. I wonder why. Extraordinary woman. Read my cookbook about 9 years ago and thought, well, I'll send him some of my butter. I've got 4 cows. I make butter. I get up every morning at 5 a.m. to milk those cows. I milk them again in the afternoon so I can make some butter. I'll send it to Keller and see what he thinks about it. I received it. FedEx showed up, a little baggie with 3 little balls of butter. I tasted it. I said, wow, this is extraordinary. I said, Diane, who are you? Why did you send me this butter? And how much do you make? She said, well, I thought, from reading your book, I thought you'd be the perfect chef to showcase my butter. I make 15 pounds a week. I said, I'll buy it. Start sending 15 pounds a week. She had 3 cows at the time, Daisy, Lightning, and Scooter. They produced our butter. We opened Per Se. I said, Diane, we have a dilemma. We're going to need to get more cows. She did. The only time that she has off in the entire year, 7 days a week, twice a day milking her cows, the only time that she gets to get away from that is during the summer when they're calving. 3 years ago, I get a beautiful frame picture of a young cow named Keller. I said, okay, I have a cow named after me and a child. The Noli Orchard in Hawaii, John Mood, we have something in common. John and I went to the same high school in South Florida, several years apart. He's a little bit older than I am. He became an airline pilot in Hawaii and decided that he was going to buy a peach palm orchard, 25 acres, sustainable, and start selling hearts of palm. He harvests the suckers, doesn't kill the main tree. He harvests the suckers, and he's able to supply us for the past 10 years with fresh hearts of palm. Extraordinary. Sterling caviar, the Sacramento Delta, where sturgeon have thrived for centuries. Sterling caviar now produces a sustainable product that we've been working with them over the past 10 years to continuously raise the standards to replace the wild caviar that we used in the past became so rare. Don and Sally Schmidt, the original owners of the French Laundry in Philo, New York at the Apple Farm. Every week, Don drives down 4 or 5 cases of apples for us at the French Laundry. That relationship continues today. Jacobson Farms. Here's an interesting couple. Peter and Gwen, you'd never know it, but they're dentists from San Francisco who bought an acre orchard in Yountville, California, and supply us with some of the most amazing fruit that's available. 9 varieties of figs, 3 varieties of peaches, nectarines, plums. It's just extraordinary. He's gone as far as certifying the snails that come out of his farm as organic. We harvest our snails, organic snails from Jacobson Farm. And of course, a man that I'm so proud of, Tucker Taylor, our own gardener at the French Laundry. We have a 3-acre piece of land across the street where he cultivates and harvests a wide variety of vegetables, not only for the French Laundry, but also Bouchon, ad hoc. And we even send some to New York once in a while so they can see what a truly amazing radish really is. Of course, Elysian Fields Farm, Keith Martin, a banker who decided to become a lammer. I don't understand that. I still don't understand it. He tried to explain it to me dozens of times. Why would a banker want to become a lammer? He did. He's established a protocol for raising his animals in a holistic way that's now patented. It's extraordinary that he has now 8 farmers in Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, who have adopted this protocol and now raise lambs, not only for us, but for some of the other chefs around the country. These are just an example of a group of extraordinary individuals who are dedicated and committed to bringing those products and ingredients to our restaurant for you. And of course, it's not just about food, ingredients. When we think about ingredients, we have so many other things. The wine list, I don't know how many thousands of bottles we have on our list, representing dozens of countries, hundreds of producers. And you think about the generations of individuals that are part of that network as well. And then, of course, the environment that we have at our restaurant, whether it's the architecture, the interior design, the linens, the china, the glassware, the silver, it goes on. And then people you don't even see, you may not even realize that are there, they're working every day for you. Reservationists, administrative staff, human resources, public relations, accountants, all making sure that our restaurant runs in a way that's going to be efficient, effective, so that we in the restaurant, we cooks, we servers, we sommeliers, can give you the experience that you expect. The second part of the equation, execution. What is execution? Execution is about skills, skill levels, right? What defines a great chef? What defines a great server? What defines a great sommelier is his skill level. And what we do at the restaurant, 3 things that are critical: hiring, making sure that we identify the right individuals that come to our restaurant. I don't interview everybody, but I try to get involved in the culinary side of it because I am a cook. And when I ask a young culinarian, why do you want to work here? Why do you want to cook? Oh, chef, man, I can't tell you how passionate I am about what I do. I go, okay, that's interesting. Passionate. I'm passionate as well. I'm passionate about the first asparagus I see, the first baby spring lamb that comes in the back door. Yes, I'm really passionate about that. But after a week or two, what happens? My passion kind of subsides. It goes down a little bit because I've already seen it. I've been experiencing it for a couple weeks. Kind of over it a little bit, but I still have an amazing asparagus that's still coming in the back door. I still have amazing spring lamb. What is it that's important to me in recognizing that individual that he should be working at our restaurant? Or what is it in me that continues to drive me? Desire. Desire. Desire trumps passion every time. It's nice to be passionate, and passion is going to help move that desire higher. But when that passion's not there, what do you need? That desire, that strong sense of desire. Training, another important element in execution. We've hired the person. We've made him realize that passion is not the most important thing, that he better find that something inside, that desire that's going to continue to drive him for the next 20, 25, 30, 35 years in this industry. We want to train them. He's in the door. We want to give them the training that they need in order to be able to execute the expectations that we have for you. Seminars, purveyors come in, suppliers come in, Keith Martin comes in, or Armando Mani comes in. They talk about what they do, how they do it, what they produce, what their points are, what their vision is. Seminars, wine seminars, not only in the Napa Valley, but around the world. We send our staff out, our teams that go out to do these seminars. An amazing, vast library of culinary books, wine books, service manuals. We write our own service manuals, update them on a yearly basis, making sure that the team has updated information. Of course, the third part, mentorship. That man on the left, Roland Hennon, taught me why I cook. He was my mentor today. Mentorship is such an important part of success. We continue to mentor our staff. We assign mentors. We ask you who you want your mentor to be, the process that we embrace wholeheartedly. Another part, the tools. We have to have the right tools. People always talk to me, what should I buy? What kind of tools should I buy? Buy the best. Go out and buy the best because the best will last. The best hat makes a difference. Whether it's the stove, the saute pan, the knife, the cutting board, the strainer, the spoon, I don't care what it is. Get the best. Get what you're comfortable with. It'll last forever. Leadership. Becoming a leader. Giving the team, those individuals, the confidence and courage they need to execute. Jonathan Beno here. Some of you may know Jonathan Beno. He began at the French Laundry in 1996. Later became chef of Per Se. Today he has his own restaurant. Jonathan came to me as a young chef de partie. A chef de partie is an individual who works on a specific station. In this case, Jonathan was the fish cook. He came to me one day and Jonathan does this. He says, "Chef," he does that when he's making a point. He points at you with all four fingers and his thumb underneath. "Chef," I mean, he's serious. I'm not going to have a cutting board on my station tonight. And I'm working. I'm busy. It's back in the old days when everybody had a lot to do, and not that we don't today, but I was more immersed in it. And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. That's interesting. You're not going to have a cutting board on your station. Yes, I'm going to be so prepared. I have so much confidence in my ability to have my mise en place done that I'm not going to need a cutting board. Now, every chef de partie in every restaurant has a cutting board on their station. Some of them need a cutting board. The butcher needs a cutting board to carve the steak. Jonathan was doing fish. Everything's in place. Everything's ready to go. All he has to do is cook and serve it. I said, okay, that's fine. Don't have a cutting board. At the end of the service, flawless. It's become the new standard for that station because Jonathan Benno had the confidence and courage to step outside of what was the norm in any restaurant and say, I'm going to do better. I'm going to create a new standard. We all know that it's not about any one individual. It's about a team. We give credit to those individuals, whether it's the quarterback, the CEO, or the chef, for that matter, for everything that is accomplished. I love to be part of a team. A team, to me, is a family. It's a way of achieving a higher goal than ever we can thought about. But it's also a lot of fun. It's our soccer team. Of course, I'm the coach. We also love to share success, celebrate them with each other. Can you imagine celebrating a success on your own? When we receive an award, it's about that celebration. Let's get the champagne out. Let's pat each other on the back. Let's give everybody a hug. Let's celebrate that. I look to the San Francisco Giants. Now, yeah. Here's a team that nobody thought could do what they did. But it was through determination and teamwork that they were able to achieve something that nobody thought they were ever capable of doing. Teamwork. It's all about that teamwork. There's this idea out there that Thomas Keller is this, all-seeing person. And I think that's pretty prevalent with most chefs. We go to the market in the morning, pick out all the produce, run over to the fish market, get all the fish, go to the butcher, get all the meat, come back, we fabricate it all, we cook it all, we don't eat, we don't sleep, we barely breathe. We're there. That's it. We do everything. But that's not the case. That's not the case. It's about the group of individuals who are focused and determined to bring you a great experience. We talk about that culture. That culture certainly did begin with me, the philosophy of what we do. And one of the cornerstones of our philosophy is just do a little better than yesterday. Come to work with that idea and goal in your mind. Just a little better. I don't care if your shoes a little shinier, you learn how to tie your apron a little tighter, your knife is a little sharper, your brunoise is a little more exact, just a little better than yesterday. That's all you have to do. And as the days go on, the weeks go on, the months go on, the years goes on, you end up someone like me. One of the most meaningful decisions I've ever made at the French Laundry 16 years ago was to change the menu every day. Every day. Something that was almost unheard of, and certainly something that wasn't practiced at the extent that we do. We get together at the end of the night, all the chefs de partie, the sous chefs, around the table with our lists of the ingredients that we've ordered, Tucker's farmer's list, or the garden list, all these different pieces of information we have, and we start to collaboratively work on the menu for the next day. We have a rule where there's no repetition. So during the evening, someone say it's corn season, someone on the meat station say, I got corn, which means that at the end of the night, when we start to do the menu, he's already dipped the corn because no one else can use corn. The result of that is extraordinary. That menu is outlined the night before. The sous chef comes in the morning at 5:30. He looks at the menu. He starts to verify the quality of the ingredients that are coming into the restaurant. He's able to modify the menu as we go. The efforts is extraordinary. Green tape. It's a little story about green tape. It's something that we use everywhere. Taping down the pass, taping down our menus. We tore the green tape for 10 years. We tore the green tape for 10 years. Chefs like Grant Achatz, Eric Ziebold, Jonathan Benno tore the green tape. When we're getting ready to open Per Se, a young group of people were coming to New York City to inoculate this new group. I gave them a pep talk. I said, I want you to go there and set an example, make an impact. A young expediter at the time, Zion Cruel, who taped down the pass at the French Laundry every night, had this in his mind. I'm not sure what he was thinking. February 16th, 2004, he's taping down the pass at Per Se. What does he do? Pulls out a pair of scissors and cuts the tape. Jaws drop. It becomes a standard. for our restaurant. Becomes the standard for our restaurant. Hiring, training, mentoring, confidence, courage, rapid rate of evolution. It's all for you. We want to make sure that your experience is one that's compelling and memorable. I've been doing this for 35 years. It's something that I focus my life on. This sat on my desk every day as I was trying to purchase the French Laundry. Having a dream is hard, living it is harder. My biggest asset at the time was my ignorance. Had I known what I was have to go through, I never would have done it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to try. We have mentored hundreds of individuals that have come through our restaurant over the past 16 years. Our legacy is through them and what they've done in their own restaurants. People like Eric Ziebel, Grant Atkins, Jonathan Benno, Corey Lee, that continues this connection with who we are as culinarians, as restaurateurs, as nurturers, and we do it all for you. Thank you. Hi.
All right, hold on. So, oh, can y'all hear me? Hello?
Yes.
I can
Okay,
hear you,
good.
Chef.
All right, great.
I
So I think that was, I always, that is a very inspiring video. Thomas Keller is very inspiring. I feel like he, he said so much in that video of don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to, just try it. And he was amazing. If you, I've never been able or never been to the French Laundry, but that is on my bucket list for sure, is to go eat at the French Laundry. It's amazing from what I've heard. So with that long video, let's go ahead and take a break. You'll want to come back at, let's say 8 o'clock. That'll give you about 15 minutes, and that'll give you enough time to wake up a little bit, stretch, and get you a cup of coffee or soda or water. And we'll start straight up at 8 o'clock, okay?
heard.
Chef.
Heard,
Cool.
Chef.
Yep.
Chef, also, I did find that video from John Taffer. I'm going to put the link here in a moment.
Oh, please,
And-
please, thank you. I'll watch it while I'm on the break.
I had a quick look at it, and I think I was a little over generous with the numbers that I originally quoted. The numbers were not 50, 60, 80. It was more like 40, 42, and 70.
But still, that's
Video John Taffer pretty much explains it there.
that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to step away for 1 second. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Need a professional website? I created one for our startup using Wix. Let me show you how I did it. First, go to Wix.com. Our startup is constantly evolving.
If somebody goes to a restaurant for the first time and has a full
All right, it is 8 o'clock, so I'm going to start talking. All right, so the POS system, okay? So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about is the POS, or can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
for
Jeff.
some reason it's not showing that you can hear me, but cool. Okay, so the POS system, it does many things. It's just a huge, computer system, but it does a lot of things if it all works properly. But you've got the POS system, and it's basically a computer system that is integrated with could be the food and beverage, like a beverage. It could be it can be integrated with inventory. It could be you could put in like recipes into it in like, for example, if someone is allergic to something and they say, hey, does this recipe have, or does this dish have, I don't know, onions in it or whatever else, you can always, in like the POS system, if you plug in, the recipe in there, you can print out the recipe or print out the ingredients and give it to the customer. So there's lots of things you can do with it. Accounting, many things. So we'll talk about that. But POS is point of sales system. And again, I'm not reading verbatim, but it is a good technology if it's done correctly and used correctly. And it will help you in your facility immensely because of it can, you can set it up to do many things. And we're going to be talking about all of that, but at the end, it will help out the servers, the inventory, people that are doing the storeroom, the customers, that benefits the customers. it makes less, you create less mistakes because of when it comes to like handwritten orders, you know, it's less mistakes from that. But I can like log into my POS system and see exactly what people are ringing up, how many sales, what did the person do. I could even run a like the clock in and clock out. People can clock in and clock out on the systems. Let's see. A lot of, you know, in now, you know, there are actually POS systems like that are for customers. Like McDonald's has now put a kiosk, kind of a POS system, just so, you know, and I think some of them are closed now, some of them are open, depends, but no matter what, it's a POS system that the customers are using to plug in their own order, and that alleviates an order taker or someone else. So it also helps save money by not having to have an employee to take an order. You're getting your customers to do it. Let's see, let's see. Okay, it can help you with, you know, profit and loss, into the month inventory, like I said. You know, there's many things that you can do, and here are some right here. A point of sale system is an integrated software and hardware. You know, basically it's all in one. You can track inventory. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Let's see, track employee hours, vacation, absences, handle payroll, you know, sales history of what you did 2 years ago on this day. You could pull up, calculate prices, discounts. You know, it's endless of all the things that you can do. You know, how does the system work? Basically, you typically have one hard drive or one main computer that used to, you know, there's two ways. You typically had one main computer. You know, this is before cloud stuff, but you would have a main computer in your office or in a secured area. And then you had satellite little kiosks for, you know, employees to you know, do orders and all of that. But you have the main hub in a secure area. Nowadays, I would never suggest anybody get a hardwired or have the computer sitting in their office or in a. I would say go with the cloud storage. That's the safest. It gets backed up pretty easily. They also encrypt it, and so where it's less, you know, because for example, let's say you have, because most of the POS systems, they do save the credit card numbers of employee or of customers, or it's left in the memory. And let's say your facility had a breach, and all of a sudden someone hacked into your POS system. Well, you could, you know, that would be bad on you. But if you have another company like a cloud provider that kept all your data, they typically have a stronger, you know, encryption and stronger to keep people from trying to break into and get all that information. So it's always a good way. Plus, let's say your restaurant burns to the ground. You know, if it burns to the ground, then you're left with nothing. You know, the POS system's dead and gone. So, you know, all your data and all of that, you know, forecasting for years of your restaurant being open, you could be losing it. So, but they, you know, you typically have a main computer, and then you have satellite kind of computers that communicate to the main computer. But and nowadays we have like mobile devices like this. You know, I mean, you have multiple. I mean, this mobile. I mean, it's easy. You know, and a lot of times, you know, it's cheaper. I mean, a device that like your phone or smaller, it's cheaper, it's less expensive, and you know, and you can, it's easier to access. Like, you know, even the credit card, no matter what, you typically get charged for doing credit cards or running credit cards, or, you know, in like what is this, Square? I think it's called Square. And then you've got a few other companies that do kind of a credit card things that it's cheaper for them. But if you've ever gone to a business that says you have to have a minimum amount to use a credit card, it's because of they get charged a percentage every time they run a credit card. So that's why, you know, it needs to be worth their while to, you know, to run a credit card. That's why you have to have $5 or $10 or something like that to use it as a credit card, you know, depending on that. But then you got tablets, a tablet type of like a iPad type of a tablet, or you have you know, something that's more, you know, like the picture above, that's more attached to the device. But you have multiple things, you know, and it really kind of depends. I like the more mobile, the mobile and the tablet more than I do like the main kiosk kind of thing like this. It's because I can, the customer or the waiter or the waitress can take that tablet to the table, and typically there's a lag time between an order taking and plugging in the orders into the POS system. There's usually kind of a lag time in between, maybe a couple of minutes. But if you're a busy waiter or waitress and you have a bunch of tables, and then all of a sudden, you know, you take an order, and then let's say a food comes out, and then you haven't plugged it into, you know, one of your other tables, food came out, and you got busy and you didn't put it in the POS system. So, so the table is not getting served as fast as they should. So if you do have a tablet or a mobile device, the you know, the individual that's taking the order can actually, you know, do it right then and there. And then when that employee leaves that table, that order is already in to the kitchen, and they can forget about it and work on something else. So it is very, it's a little easier than having to go to a main, you know, terminal or a main area. And usually those main areas, you know, you've got multiple servers or multiple people trying to use that one POS system, and you've got kind of a backlog, and, you know, people are just kind of waiting around doing it, or and then that's when you know, from the walk from the table to the POS system, a lot of times people, you know, things get forgotten or whatever else, and this helps with your customer service and customer satisfaction. So where you're going to have a little less mistakes if you have what I would say a mobile device like this or a tablet that you can bring to the table compared to writing it down, because typically you're taking an order, I got a pad and paper or something, I'm writing it all down, right? And then I take this pad to the POS system kind of over by the soda machine, and then I go plug it all in, and you can easily make more mistakes doing it that way. So mobile devices and all of that, it's a little bit easier and less mistakes. Self-service units, like something you'd see at if you've ever even been to Buc-ee's. Has anybody ever been to Buc-ee's? Yeah, I mean, I love Buc-ee's, but Buc-ee's, has these kiosks, these POS systems that you can just kind of type in what you want, you look it up, and even, do you see the pictures that are on this, this one right here? You can add like pictures, descriptions, you name it, to make it easier for the individuals to decide what they want. And again, you're taking away one position, right? You're not having to have an order taker, right? If you have this mobile device. So, if you have this mobile or this POS system for the self-service, you don't have to, you're saving yourself a little bit of money, even though that you had to upfront cost of the buying it and installing it and all of that. But at least, it's going to pay for itself. Cost of POS systems, guys, I mean, there are many different fees, many different things, but I think a couple of months ago, I looked up how much it was, and it kind of depends, but about $5,000 to $10,000, depending on how many units you have, and depending on what kind of software, what kind of integration you want to do. But that's approximately about, and then you usually rent them, kind of a thing, and you pay monthly fees after that. You have, if you have cloud service, you have to obviously pay for the cloud storage and whatnot. But really, guys, you would be a complete fool to ever not have one of these. I think it's more of a need than a want I think a POS system is more of a need now, just because of, you can integrate it into a delivery system. You can integrate online ordering in with your POS system. So it's all integrated, especially now at this time in our lives with everything is, to go food and ordered in and all of that. It just takes it's just a lot easier to do it this way. But you can integrate it with even smartphones, I mean, just regular personal phone. There's usually, I know that some of them have apps that you can get your employees to download on their own personal phone, and they can use their phone as their POS system instead of actually having to buy a tablet or whatever else. So again, that saves a little bit more money. Other costs, I mean, you've got software, hardware, all of that, and then you've got cloud, and then you've got, you have other types of things. You've got payroll system, kitchen video system, security system. I've seen where, let's say your coolers, your refrigerator, and your freezers are hooked up to the POS system. So where if a temperature changes, it will alert everybody that's part of this, the system, that will say, your refrigerator's 5 degrees warmer than, so where you're again helping prevent spoilage, all of that sort of stuff. You can and theft if you have a kind of an integrated system of security, employee scheduling, you know, phone ordering, credit cards, management alerts type of deal of what the wait time is, any of that sort of stuff. So you can do many things. Oops. Getting the right POS system. You just want, you know, whatever it is, you know, you want it to, you want it to, you know, you need printers because, you know, especially, you know, in the kitchen, you need, you know, the order takers are the printer machines, and for the tickets and all of that sort of stuff. You'll probably need a cash drawer. Now, sometimes nowadays, the waiters or waitresses, they are the cash drawer itself, depending. You know, there might be a main cash drawer and everybody kind of works off of that. Or you might have your own, what I call till, or your own money that you have for your area, and then you, you know, give it back at the end of the night, depending on what's going on. But you know, you need credit card readers, you need all sorts of different things. But you know, getting the right one, it really kind of depends on what you want to do with it, and you know, and how many you need, you know, because you're going to need at least 5 or 6 printers, probably more than that, you know, in the kitchen. A few kiosks, you know, but again, they will come in, you know, whatever company you, you know, hire, they'll come in, they'll kind of give you an estimate of what you know, high, medium, and low. They always give you, okay, here's the bottom of the barrel, here's the medium, and here's the highest, and you can kind of pick from there. And it's just kind of a, what kind of bells and whistles do you want, in a way. But it's a great great system if it's done properly, and if it's working properly. And that's the most important thing, is making sure you maintain it and have a good regular maintenance on the unit. And that's another reason why I like to use the cloud, because usually when you're hooked up to the cloud, it will automatically update itself. It will do all that stuff. So where you're not having to do the updates and whatnot, you know, yourself. If you had just the unit main computer in your office or in a secured area, you would have to do that a little bit more. But you have barcode readers and scanners. I think, and this is something I've been asking and hoping that the school will get, you know, barcode readers. So where, you know, our companies, like when you're doing inventory, you can, you know, you can scan the barcodes, and that will help alleviate the miscounting of things when you're doing inventory. If you barcode, if they all typically have barcodes, and if you don't have a barcode, you can create a barcode, and it's a great for inventory. I absolutely love it because you can scan it in when it comes into the door, and you can scan it out when it goes out of the door. So where I know exactly what's going in and what's going out of my storeroom. And that's very important, because if not, you're gonna, you could typically lose stuff, and people can take stuff out of the storeroom, and you might not even know about it. You know, if I knew I had, you know, 30 steaks, and I scanned in 30 steaks, and all of a sudden I have 20 steaks coming out, and where are those 10 extra steaks? I need to find it. So it helps with that. let's see, benefits of a system, basically current tracking sales, guys. That is probably the one major benefit that you're going to get is you will be able to track the sales from you know, for example, like I can say at 1 o'clock, at 1:15, and or whatever, I can pick a time and figure out exactly how many items were sold between 1 and 2 o'clock, or 1:15 to 1:30, or whatever else. And I can look at it from like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I can be able to forecast how many people I think that are going to be coming in my door. And that's very important, because how do you know how to prep, how many people to prep for if you don't take reservations and you don't do all of that? So the only way you can figure out how, you know, how many people might show up that day is by forecasting and looking at what you did last year at this time. And then I look, okay, I just walked outside because my daughter's about to go to college, back to college today, and I'm getting her windshield replaced. And so I went outside and I noticed it's raining. Well, let's say it's raining today, and I need to know. In last year on this date, it was not raining, so I need to adjust my amounts of. Because if my business has, let's say, an outside seating, and if it's going to rain today, well, I'm not going to have as many people showing up. So I need to forecast, and this helps forecast you to determine what's going on and how many people you need to prepare for. Let's see. Hassle-free transactions. Well, yes and no. Again, kind of depends. You know, I mean, it really kind of depends on hassle-free, but you know, just a POS system will help with the, you know, with your you know, just with basically integrating in anything into it, so where it will be hassle-free. You know, if you have your inventory system in there, I don't have to have it handwritten. I can do it all by that tablet. Anything that I can alleviate handwritten stuff is the best, because handwriting, guys, I write really bad. My handwriting's horrible. And anytime you have that, you know, it could really screw up things, handwriting compared to computer. But again, it's only as smart as what you put in there, right? It's only as smart as what you put in there. So if you put in the wrong stuff, you're going to get, it's not going to come out right. So you just need to make sure you have the right material in there. Better management, better managed inventory for sure. I can manage my inventory. I can clock it in, clock it out, or move it in to one area and transfer it to a different area, especially if I'm in a hotel. I want to keep my restaurant from food compared to my banquet food. They're different, and they come out in different piles of money. So I want to keep them separately. So this also helps with my inventory. Okay, this goes to catering, this goes to this wedding, or this goes to this, or whatever else. It really helps manage that, and it helps you manage things to stay in stock, so you're not running out of stuff. You know, I mean, if every time you run, when I'm down to one item in the storeroom, let's say I always want to keep 5 boxes of salt in my storeroom, I can set a par stock or par level. So where anytime I get lower than 5 boxes of salt, it will immediately, say, hey, you need to order more salt. And sometimes even the unit will say that and then go in and order, like actually put in the order for you. So it really helps track everything and manage what is going in and what is going out. That is, I think, the most important thing when your storeroom, you need to know what's going in and what's going out. And that is so important. Higher security, yeah, because again, it helps people, because if they know, if my employees know that I track everything that goes in and goes out, you're not going to have as much theft. Even some POS systems are integrated into at bars. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but sometimes airports. I've seen this at airports where the POS system is actually hooked up to a bottle of liquor. So it's got a little kind of a I don't know, spout, and it's kind of connected to an electrical device. So where if I'm the waiter or waitress, I'm plugging in, okay, you're getting a shot of vodka. I click shot of vodka on the POS system, and then it will allow me to pour the alcohol out. But if I don't order it, it will not let me pour the alcohol out of the bottle. So that also alleviates people from overpouring. And overpouring is a major expense. Given an extra shot or a half shot of, because I look at a bottle and I can say, okay, I can get 15 drinks out of this bottle. So I know exactly how much I'm going to make off of this bottle. And if my employee overpours or underpours, no matter what, it's going to affect me. In effect, because if he overpours, he or she overpours, then it's going to, I'm going to use up that bottle more or faster. And then, so this helps with the whole just managing how much you're spending, what you're spending, and what your employees are doing. Because again, it's your business, and no matter what, I always love an extra half shot or extra little something in my drink. But when it comes down to if it's my livelihood, for sure, I want to control it. And again, I don't know if you remember, but I told you on day one that all chefs or anybody in this industry has a little bit of control freak in them. And that is part of it. We want to control everything. We need to control it, because if we don't, we lose money, right? Plain and simple. And we don't want to lose money. And that's so important. And guys, if you want to say something, please jump in. I'm just talking. And I'm just trying to push through, because I've got my doctor's appointment at 9 o'clock. So just let me know. Let's see. Okay. Again, I'm kind of beating this dead horse a little bit, but it helps you track your sales, your profit and loss, and, any of that sort of stuff. It really helps run your facility. And this is something, reports, I would print out the P&L statement, profit and loss statement, how much profit I had, how much loss I have, and really kind of determine what's going on. And if you don't do that, you could easily, if you're not tracking and managing your business, you're going to lose your shirt no matter what. hands down. Hold on. Remove this little thing. There we go. Let's see, rather than your system running back and forth, the kitchen, the bar. Okay, yeah, sending tickets. So, rather than having to run back and forth, to the bar and to this, it will just, okay, you're ordering something from the bar. It knows it's from the bar, so it will immediately send a ticket to the bar. And then also it'll immediately send a ticket to the garde area where they're making your salads or your whatnots. So it will kind of automatically disperse the tickets where they need to go, depending on what you're ordering. And I think that's good. And that also helps. And this is back in the days before they had that, it was very time consuming. They had to walk, your employee had to walk from one area to the another area to the bar, back to the, back and forth. And that's, I'm taking less steps, or we're kind of keeping my employees from having to walk so much. So that's less time wasted. And the more time, the more time they have, my money is being well spent. If I let them walk around back and forth, all that walking is in that extra time. I'm giving them money for that. So I want to make sure that I get my money's worth out of my employees. Because if not, it's not so nice. All right, so effective menu display okay. All right, so you can display your menu. You can desserts, like I was saying in this one picture over here, like this picture right here. You can display pictures of your food. You can display, you name it, but it just helps with the sales of your food. Hold on a second. Back. Streamline the accounting for sure. It helps with your accounting because no matter what, I don't have multiple banks, or what I call banks, or multiple cash drawers. I'm going to have one cash drawer that everybody's going to use, but then I can, they bring it to that or whatever else. But I can control how much is going in, how much is going out. I can see everything. And again, it's all about control and managing and making sure that everything is at the par and everything else. Here are some purveyors and providers right here. There are more, but these are some. All right, y'all want to take let's take a 5-minute break. I've been pushing for 30 minutes, so let's take 5.
Heard, Chef.
Be back at 8:45. Is that right? Y'all cool with me starting right now? Looks like, yeah. All right, so how to choose a provider. You know, I mean, it really kind of depends on, you in your business, what kind of hardware you need, how much money you need, to put up there, the cost of, the transactions, how much, what, does the facility or the company have good customer service? I would for sure make sure you, whatever system it is, they need to have technical support, 24-hour technical support. I would make sure that you have some local person that can come repair it. Do not ever buy a unit that is so they would have to send someone out from another area to come service it. You want to make sure that it is serviceable in the area that you have, because if not, then you're going to be down a system. And then, but you need to also make sure you get your employees to understand how to make change and to do this without the POS system, because God forbid, let's say electricity goes down, your POS system goes down, you need to still make sales. You still need to do sales without losing money. So you need to make sure your employees know how to do it, to do an order or to do a transaction without having the POS system as well. Because again, it is technology, and sometimes, and as you know, probably this past year with you being on Zoom and you being on a computer a lot, technology can crap out, and it can go bad, very easily, and the weather could cause problems. So, just make sure your employees know how to deal with it. Here are some more types of systems and all of that. But, there's more than these. We will, if we have time, we'll watch that video. But automatic reservation system, very, very important. I think, if you don't have I would say an online reservation system, I think you're a fool not to, unless you are a fast food establishment, obviously. But I would do it, especially right now because of COVID. I mean, you need to manage your amounts of people that are in your facility at all times, and the percentages and how many, and the Travis County or Austin or Williamson County or whatever county is you're in, or parish you're in if it's Louisiana. But you need to make sure that you know the percentages of how many people are coming in, because that if you go over those percentages, you could be fined or shut down or whatever else. So very, very, very important. And I think reservation system like Open Table, man, I think Open Table is awesome. You've got, and it's integrated with lots of different companies and all of that. And you can integrate your POS system to talk to the Open Table, and it can do all of that sort of stuff. Because prior to a reservation system like this online or whatever else, I had to pay someone to answer the phone and to make reservation, and I had to have a reservation book. And if someone didn't write down the reservation, or if someone didn't return a phone call or whatever else, I'm losing business, right? And again, our goal is to have butts in the seats at all times in my restaurant. And because the more butts that are in the seat, the more money I'm going to be making. So having that reservation system and integrating it into your unit is probably something that you should do immediately. You know, I mean, you look at now all the restaurants that are failing right now, that have lost, that have, you know, because of COVID. A lot of it has to do with not having a good to go kind of system together, a good delivery system, or you're not hooked up with, you know, some sort of like Uber Eats, or you didn't hook up with one of those kind of delivery systems where, you know, in those are the companies that are hurting the most because they did not, they weren't set up with a to-go system, or didn't have all this integrated into their unit, into their systems. So then, you know, they're kind of left, you know, holding no money in their hand, and that's why lots of restaurants are closing down, and it's sad, very sad. You know, here you go. I just kind of stole my thunder on that, but there you go. Open Table, online system. I think that's and I mean, how many restaurants are there, you know, in the Open Table? It's very, very user friendly, very easy. I can make a reservation right now for next week, or for a month from now, or whatever else. It's very, very simple. I can do it on my time, my personal time, instead of the company's time, waiting until the restaurant's open and then trying to call and make a reservation. This is quick, easy, and to the point. The benefits, there you go. I said it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I don't have to pay a soul to do it, other than you know, like Open Table. I think it takes I think and I can't remember the cost, but it's very minimal for the company to get onto Open Table. But also, I mean, you know, on Google Maps, right? You go to Google Maps, there's restaurants on there. You can pay to get put on to that itself, or whatever else. I think just automatic reservation system, I think, is very, very important to have. And management inventory, our restaurant management inventory system, like an inventory system, like I said, it helps you rotate your product first in, first out, FIFO. It helps you make sure that you're never going to run out of, I don't know, plastic wrap or paper towels or whatever else, because it will automatically, kind of like, you know, notifications that you get on your phone, right? It will notify me if I'm really low on salt, or I'm out of this or that. It helps make sure that the customer is not getting the short end of the stick by not having the product and all of that. Helps prevent spoilage, employee mistakes, staff meals, thefts. It all helps on that, because like I was saying, it helps prevent, and I can know where all the sales go. You know, I can track everywhere where all those steaks went. It's very easily. I can just inventory. I can't stress it enough. Inventory is so important, because anytime, because you paid for it, and if it's not there, if someone took it, you've lost whatever you paid for. So very, very important. Let's see, you know, here, inventory terminology, setting inventory. You know, you want to kind of you want to make sure that you kind of know what you're using at all times, and it gives you kind of a you know, and here's kind of a little kind of a math conversion kind of for how to get usage. But that it's just, and I cannot stress it enough, inventory is so important. Things cost money. And let's see, the inventory is down $100. And I mean, this is just a scenario, okay? But, it helps you track where the variance, or when we say variance, it means there's something off. So where you're missing $5, or where you're missing $100, or where you're missing, it helps you track all of that. Let's see. And also I can look and see what, what kind of errors people are making, what kind of things are, if someone's overcooking stuff, I can tell if they got things sent back in the kitchen over and over again. I can see that we had to recook or remake or whatever else. So this helps me kind of manage my staff as well, and make sure that they're doing their job correctly too. About the variance. You're just wanting to understand you're basically just wanting to understand what you lost and what you don't have. So, it's just making sure that you're staying, you don't want to get in the negatives, right? So this also helps, again, helps with the loss. It helps employee waste, theft, again, repeating myself. Looking ahead for tomorrow, plan your career, okay? This is what I would like you to kind of do, and this will be due for basically on Monday. I want you to write down a 5, 10-year, 15-year goals for yourself. This is, you're going to give it to me, but this is for you. This is for you to kind of get an idea of what you want to do when you get out of school. And so you can start kind of planning your path. And again, kind of like the POS system, we're trying to kind of make sure that you know what you're doing. And when it comes to 5, 10, 15-year plan, if you don't know what you're going to do in 15 years, what I want to know is what are you going to start wanting to do once you get out of school? If you want to go open up a restaurant, well, maybe we need to work on getting you those tools right then and there. But I want you to look ahead and tell me, and kind of just, it doesn't have to be in some form. You can just let me know, just type it up or just kind of send it to me. But this is for you to look at, because you need to have goals. You need to be able to set goals, and that's part of management. And being a manager is to set goals and to try to obtain those goals. And that is something that we're trying to get you to do. And we are not doing a spreadsheet, but I would like you to do, by Monday, I would like everybody to turn in basically a 5 to 10 year plan of what you would like to do, or so where you can start kind of getting your path started, and paving your way to what you want to do. I know I talked really fast, and I know I kind of went through a lot. I'm sorry. Were y'all looking? Was I sharing? I was sharing, right?
Yes, Chef, you were.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Are there any questions? Anything you want to ask before I let y'all go? Yes, ma'am.
You
I'm just to write our plan on like a Google Doc and share that with you.
Yes, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
And then, do you have any like requirements, like how long it should be,
No,
or
no, I have no. I mean, it could be a sentence, it could be a paragraph, it could be 5 pages. This is for you, but you know, I just, it's more. I would just like to see what y'all are, what your plan is, and but this is really just for you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you so much for letting me get out a little early. I've got my doctor's appointment. And then again, whenever I find out my time for my vaccination, I will let you know. But y'all have a wonderful day. Guys, again, I recorded it. It will be put on the portal in the next hour or so. I did not record yesterday. So on day 2, you will not see a recording. But I thank goodness for my little note that says record. I did it today. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Be safe. Talk to y'all tomorrow.
Have a good day, Chef.
Thank you, Chef.
Nice
Thank
day.
you, guys. Oh, hey, did y'all get in touch with Shelly about trying to change times?
No, not yet. I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that today, though. Thank you for
No,
reminding
that's
me.
fine. I just wanted to make sure if you don't get anything from her in the next, you know, let me know and I can push it along.
Did you? Sorry, not to hold you up, but did you figure out if there's any other classes other than the 6 p.m. one?
I could not find the schedule and
Okay.
and I'm sorry about that. I did
No,
not.
it's fine.
But I
mean,
know
Shell's gonna
there
have the
is-
information.
I know there is, but I don't know what time it is.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
I think it's a 2 o'clock. I think there's
Okay.
a 2 o'clock.
Well, that would be nice.
But I don't want to jinx it and say it wrong. But anyway,
Okay. No worries. All right.
have a
Chef,
great day, man.
Good luck.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.